All right, let's get right into it. If your big goal for 2025 is to land a front-end engineering job at a top-tier product company, then you are in the right place. We're about to walk through a super clear 6-month roadmap that's designed to get you from the basics all the way to being job ready. So let's do this. So this right here, this is the core promise of the whole plan we're breaking down today. It's not just about learning a few lines of code, it's about following a very specific, dedicated path that takes you from step 1, the absolute basics, to becoming the kind of engineer that aces those tough interviews. Let's start at the beginning. You can't build a skyscraper on a weak foundation. It just doesn't work. And that's exactly why the first 2 months of this whole journey are all about one thing: building an absolutely rock-solid foundation. Everything, and I mean everything else, is going to be built right on top of this. Okay, so month 1. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get laser-focused on these 3 core technologies. And we're not just talking about casually learning them. No, you're building the bedrock of your entire career here. No skipping ahead, no getting distracted by shiny new frameworks, just the pure, unadulterated fundamentals.
That's a fair question, right? Why spend a whole month on the basics when there's so much cool stuff to learn? Well, here's the secret. Top companies, the ones you really want to work for, they don't just look for people who know the basics. They hire people who have truly mastered them. Think about it like this. HTML, that's the skeleton of your website. It has to be strong and well-structured. CSS is like the skin. It's the visual perfection, the user interface that big companies obsess over. And JavaScript, well, that's the brain. It's what brings the whole thing to life. If any one of those 3 is weak, the whole thing just falls apart.
With that solid foundation in place, month 2 is where we go deep. You're going to dedicate this entire month to one thing: mastering JavaScript. And why? Because it's the language that will be put under a microscope in every single technical interview you have, period.
And look, these aren't just random topics. These are the classics, the heavy hitters that interviewers love to use to see if you really know your stuff. We're talking about really getting how this keyword works, understanding prototypes and how JavaScript handles inheritance, and wrapping your head around closures. Nailing these concepts is absolutely non-negotiable. All right, so your foundation is solid. Months 3 and 4 are where the real fun begins. This is all about taking those skills you've built and using them to craft the kind of complex, dynamic websites you actually use every single day.
So in month 3, you learn to become the puppet master of the user interface. That means manipulating the DOM, the actual structure of the web page, to make things happen on the screen. You'll also master advanced CSS tools like Flexbox and Grid to build those pixel-perfect responsive layouts. And you'll go deep on the event loop, which is the secret sauce behind how JavaScript can do so much without ever freezing up the page. Now, by month 4, your whole identity as a developer starts to shift. You're not just building the pretty stuff the user sees anymore. You're becoming an expert in the invisible architecture that powers it all. We're talking about handling data, managing users, and talking to servers. This stuff right here, this is what makes a modern web app tick. You'll master asynchronous JavaScript, so you can fetch data from a server without locking up the entire page. You'll learn how to manage user sessions with things like cookies and storage, and you'll become fluent in working with APIs, which are basically the way your app communicates with the rest of the world. This is where you become truly valuable. Okay, listen up, because month 5 is maybe the most critical turning point in this whole roadmap. This is where you stop thinking like a coder who just writes lines of code, and you start thinking like a true software engineer who builds robust, scalable systems. The difference is huge. See, a standard developer knows how to use a library to get a job done. But a product company engineer, they understand why that library works the way it does, how it fits into the bigger picture, and, most importantly, how to fix it when it inevitably breaks. That's the mindset we're going for. And these are the skills that will get you there. You'll become a master of the browser's DevTools for hunting down bugs. You'll actually understand how the V8 engine takes your JavaScript and runs it. And you'll learn fundamental design patterns. These are like proven recipes for solving common, tricky problems. This is the stuff that signals to an interviewer that you can handle real-world complexity. We're in the home stretch now. This is the last month of core learning. You've laid the foundation, you've built real websites, and you started thinking like an engineer. Now it's time to master the framework that pulls it all together. Let's be real. For the big product companies today, React is king. It just is. And this is where all your hard work from the last 5 months really pays off. Because you have such a deep understanding of JavaScript and how the web works, learning React is going to feel so much more intuitive and powerful. You're going to master the whole React ecosystem from the ground up. You'll start with JSX and building reusable components, which are the basic building blocks. Then you'll learn how to manage data with props and state, use hooks for all your logic, and finally, use tools like Redux to handle all the data across your entire application. This is exactly how the big guys build their apps. Now, if you want to really stand out from the crowd, this is how you do it. You layer on these professional-grade tools and mindsets. Things like using TypeScript for safer code, understanding how bundlers like Webpack package up your app, and using tools to keep your code clean and consistent. This shows a level of maturity that companies absolutely love, even in junior candidates. So let's take a step back. After 6 months of intense focus, what have you actually become? It's simple. You've gone from someone who's learning to code to a legitimate, top-tier candidate. And this timeline really shows the whole transformation. You started with the absolute foundations, you mastered JavaScript, you built interactive UIs, you learned to wrangle data, you started thinking like a real engineer, and you finished by mastering the modern React stack. At this point, you are without a doubt job ready. And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. Following this roadmap isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a proven, structured path. If you seriously put in the work and follow these steps, that feeling of confidence when you walk into any interview, it'll be yours. You'll have earned it. The entire plan is laid out for you, step by step. The path is clear. The only thing left is for you to start walking. So the real question is,